So, first and foremost, everybody has heard that phrase, think outside the box, push the boundaries. I know I've heard it plenty of times from people who aren't even creative. They just hear somebody else say that. Well, think about it. Don't you think I thought about this? Now, come to people just bringing something up to them without thinking about it. Maybe other people do. That's something new to me, but I don't. I think about what I say before I say it. However, that's what leads me up to today's episode of the podcast. When people speak in phrases because it's the norm, what are they really saying and why are they saying it? Are they really challenging you to think different? And how do you think different? We're going to show you. We're not going to tell you. Here on today's episode of the podcast, Designing Last, thinking outside the box, or is it? You decide. We do a lot of talking about creativity here on this platform, and I think it's important that from time to time we stop and show you what these conversations are leading up to. This song is from my EP called Sketch. The song's called Mind Blown.
It's fire. Like, it's really, really good.
I don't want to do this without you, but I had to. Damn. Why? Because of you. In this world, you're on your own. Can't be my friend if you're never wrong. Just to be clear, we're done here. Your own people were never sincere. Mind blown, mind blown, oh, mind blown. Tell me going, oh, mind blown, mind blown, oh, mind blown. Tell me going, oh, I can't believe I fell for your lies. To your surprise, thank God I'm alive. I saw the with you with no clue. Way back before 2002. Life is real, not high school. Life is real, not high school. Life is real, not high school. At that moment, I could not deny it. Can't hide it. I can't hide it. Mind blown, mind blown, oh, mind blown. Tell me going, oh, mind blown, mind blown, oh, mind blown. Tell me going, oh, I went right in, it comes from within. To give my trust, rebuke the sin. Respect ain't a drop in the tin. Like they say, give me 10. Try again. I'm moving on like the beat of the song. Sing along if you know you're strong. Understand me like breath in your lungs. Mind blown.
It's mind blowing.
My best bet, pizza serve. My best bet, pizza
Yeah.
serve. Best that I can do.
Yeah.
Tell you.
Yeah.
Designing in your face. Designing laughs. Designing in your face. Don't know what to design today, but it's just one thing I know for sure. That's right, y'all. Welcome back. Oh man, I'm thankful for that. Well, first of all, thank you once again. Welcome back. I'm Devin here with another episode of Designing Laughs. And man, I really am. Well, I'm hot, but I'm excited also too because this is a topic that people don't think about, yet they talk about it all the time. And they throw the phrase out there so casually, like as if they are the judge of what thinking outside the box really is and what that entails and how to do it. It definitely won't show you. If they are, let me know where they are because I want somebody to show me how to think outside the box. They haven't yet. But today's here on Designing Last, I'm going to change that narrative and show you how you can change the way you think in a realistic way that can really give you an advantage and a leg up in this competitive market that we live in today. And it doesn't matter about what industry you're in, anything that has to do with creativity is competitive, and life in general is competitive these days because everybody's feeling the crunch of, you know, of being left behind or because the gap is getting bigger and bigger every day. It really is you know, the have and have nots. And man, we want to change how that narrative is being presented in the business section alone because as entrepreneurs, man, we are often left fending for ourselves. Figure it out, my guy. You have a business, run your business. How do people think that just by having a business alone must mean you're successful. No, it doesn't run like that. In fact, most businesses fail within the first 3 years or even less than that. So to know that there are businesses out there who've been around for 5 years, 10 years plus, or startups who are taking every necessary step in order to reach further than the ceiling that there's been placed upon them, because I hate to say it, we all have our limitations of how far we can reach people or other businesses, but through collaboration, through trial and error, through trust, through love and loyalty and respect, those things can change. Takes time though. Takes time, a lot of time. And we notice that the best way to change your thought process when it comes down to thinking differently it's not so much about doing something that you so-called quote unquote have not seen somebody else do. It's really about tapping into your authentic self and what you know is true to you that nobody else has yet to see. How is that? Well, be vulnerable. Share that information that people so-called think they know about you, but yet they really don't. Don't give them that leg up to say that they figured you out. They know what you think and how you think so they can determine where your project's gonna go or if it's gonna go somewhere. No. Hell no. You don't have no control over what other people think, but you do have control over how you think. And your mindset is the first step. I can attest to that because of the fact that me running this podcast, let alone, has tested my mental capacity on numerous occasions because let's just be real, man. We don't have all the numbers. We don't have the the engaged, consistent number of views week after week. However, we do have consistent attention, which is very appreciated and noticed. And we want to convert the attention into hopefully supporters and viewers who will continue to keep coming back, like yourself. So we are living proof that's showing you that changing your mindset on saying, hey, I might not have the results that I want right now, but guess what? We are still working, we are still growing, and still changing the landscape of what we do and how it is being done in real time. Because let's just be honest, as a designer, you are often looked at as disposable, depending on where you are within your career and where you work. So if you're in-house, yes, you have someone usually watching over you who determines on deadlines and so forth and so much, as far as that determines what you do and how you do as a designer, because you have to report someone else. Whereas someone may be working in the agency that they may own or maybe the creative director of or something like that capacity has a little bit different uh, pressure and has a little bit different experience when it comes down to being a designer in today's industry because it's changing. Like a lot of the roles that we've traditionally have been known in the industry alone for so long, but art directors, creative directors, production assistants, or production designers, those things are changing. They're shifting. Yes, they are. Those roles are no longer so black and white. Sometimes now you see people doing multiple different roles because of the fact that maybe they just had the experience or they had the knowledge to do so, or from them feeling like they have to gain more skill sets and be able to put themselves in a position of leverage. Some people have taken on more roles that don't actually relate to being a graphic designer. Yet when viewers from, not the creative world, the average viewer sees that those titles, they think that those are all supposed to be a part of it,
You're supposed to be a photographer, a copywriter, a designer, and all of that in one. You're supposed to know everything. That's not what this is. As a designer, no, actually, a lot of designers focus on one particular aspect. Literally, logo design, typography, maybe they focus on illustration or just straight up layout design where they might define, say, you know what, I don't want this uncertainty of not knowing where my next paycheck is going to come because I don't have the projects coming in. So maybe I want to become more consistent with my work and they become a production designer where someone who just brings the work to them and they assemble it so it to go out to whoever the client is, which is a whole skill on its own, meaning you know the programs inside and out, but you're not maybe the top leader when it comes down to the brand strategy or the execution of the illustration or the logo design. However, that leads me to say this, y'all. Just because those names and those positions have changed over time does not mean that what they do have changed. And yes, they have not changed really. Creative directors still are the ones who are over the overall creative aspect of the project from start to finish. And art directors are the people who orchestrate everyone else's individual jobs by making sure that everybody's delegated to a certain role and knows what there's asked of in a timely manner so that everything comes to hand all at one time as opposed to it being, you know, a bunch of different people saying, "Oh, I'm in charge." No, there really is one person in charge, and that really is usually the art director. And like I said, the creative director will report to them, or the creative director might be the creative slash art director, but usually it's one or the other. And I say all of that to say this is what happens when you have so many different titles that over time have evolved into traditional roles that have not kept up with how the work is being presented and being executed in the real time today, especially now that we have AI and there's so much more competition because there's more artists and designers coming out in the industry more than there was years in the past. And we're thankful that there's more people wanting to be like that, but we need to shift the narrative of that because it's not exactly how you think it is. You know, there's been projections of artists, certain more designers coming out, and the growth in the industry is supposed to be a little bit better every year. But yet, if you ask the average art designer where they fit, on the totem pole or where they fit in the industry, a lot of them feel like they are stuck or they don't know what's next. They fear for their careers, for their jobs. Man, and that leads me to today's, and not only today's, but going forward, our new segment weekly called the Shape Shift Game. Now, how does this work? Simple. On the Shape Shift Game, this is your time to be able to engage and interact with us so that you can see in real time how we do what we do here. And it's a learning experience for both you and I, because I get a chance to see how you experience this episode and episodes to come. So, with that being said, I'm going to now go ahead and just get right to it. On the shapeshift game, it's going to be very simple. I'm just going to draw out a very simple illustration for you. I'm going to pull it up on the screen so you can be able to see it. And then you're just going to, right then and there, tell me what you see. And I'll tell you what I see. Then I'll make some alterations to it, and you'll see how, just like those positions have shifted, the shape has shifted into a different object. Hopefully, that in context, you'll see how thinking differently can be demonstrated in real time. So, with that being said, let's get started. All right. So, I'm just going to keep this episode this segment or the episode for this episode. You know, I'm not going to do a whole bunch of rounds. So I'm just going to do a couple of rounds. So let's get started. I'm going to now draw the shape of the object that I have in mind, and I'm now going to show it to you. You see it? All right. At this time, we're going to pause, stop talking, and have you all tell me what it is you see. When I look at it, y'all, well, hold on. Should I what tell you? Okay, I guess I'll tell you. When I see this, yeah, I see a circle. But let me change something real quick. Now, what do you see? All right. So, I don't know about you, but I see a couple of different things. I see target, and I also see a wheel and other things as well. But hey, there's no right or wrong answer. I'm just saying you, depending on how you look at it, it changes. Let me draw something else. We'll draw another shape. What do you see now? It's the second one underneath, not the top one. That's right. What do you see now? What do you see now? All right. Now that you have that, Now, what do you see? What do you see now? I see a living room. Might even be The Simpsons. I don't know. But I definitely see something different now. Let's see if I can draw something else with that same shape and see if there's something else that comes up. Once again, you see the shape? See what else what we drew? All right. Now, now, what do you see? Yeah, if you ask me, it looks like a window with the blinds half open. Let's close this on out with the last example. Very bottom, you see that shape? As always, what do you think when you see this shape? Right. So, yes, I see a triangle. However, if I do this, I no longer just see a triangle. I now see something different. What is that? You tell me. Or even just another one. Same shape, same shape. However, though, different object. What do you see now? That's me. That tent is very well pitched. But I don't know. It's a well pitched tent. However, though, end of the day, this is not about us pitching what we can do, how we can do things here, or our services or any of that stuff, man. We really do try to just show you with real examples that are practical and are being used by us in real life. Not what we think you can use, not what others have told us or what we've read. Nothing wrong with reading things, because you definitely need to be reading more to be able to keep up on what's going on. But I'm just saying all that to say this. At the end of the day, how do you think, and why do you think the way you think? That is all you need to get the ground work done when it comes down to building your brand and taking things to the next stage. So if you're an entrepreneur out there, or a founder, or someone who's inspired by today's episode of podcast, leave us a comment down below sharing what you think or what you don't or do like. Either way, we are welcoming this as a place for you to be able to encourage the engagement with others. This is not just about me, this is about the community. And the community has spoken when it comes down to saying that this platform is needed and we need you. So together, we are putting this to get making this happen. And this is an ongoing thing. So next episode of the podcast, y'all, I want you all to think of one object and then think of 5 different meanings for that object. And then we'll break those things down on the next episode of the podcast. With that being said, I also want to close off today's episode with some announcements. Yes, we are really excited about the Deft blueprint. And we're excited about some other projects that are yet to be announced. But we definitely want to at least acknowledge that people have been talking, people have been asking questions, and we do our best to be able to answer them as transparent in a timely manner as possible. However, some things we just can't answer because that's just the nature of the business. We can't answer anything, even if we wanted to. But the things that we do answer, we definitely make sure we put all of our input into it, and we don't say things just to be saying it. So I want to close off by saying, if you've been under a rock wondering what we do here at Deft, the easiest way to find out is by going to our website, Deft.design, and find out for yourself. Everything you need to know is there. And if you have any other suggestions about other topics you guys want to hear more about in the future, don't hesitate to let us know, man. Seriously, because this is an ongoing learning experience for everyone. Creativity does not stop with you and I. So, and with that being said, I just want to say, I'm Dev Dog Devin, here with another episode of Designing Labs. Stay engaged, stay creative, because that's Dev. And I'll catch y'all next time on another episode of Designing Labs with Dev.
Oh, also, don't forget, on Patreon, y'all, exclusively, new episodes of Cook This. Also, behind the scenes of Designer Labs and more exclusive Just Deft content that you're only going to see only on Patreon. And guess what? You're invited.